Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I would like to show you two different techniques how to get nice clean corners. I'm just gonna show you quickly what I mean with perfect corners on books and other chipboard materials. Here you can see this is like cover, and you can see this cover how nice my edge actually, like you can say edges, they're very nice. And also you can see here all these corners, they're very nice and neat and like very beautiful. They look beautiful. And also all these chipboard pieces that are covered with paper or with the fabric, all these edges have very nice corners. So this is what I will be showing you today, how you create like nice corners when you wrap your chipboard into any kind of material, fabric or paper. These techniques are good when you are working with a chipboard that has like straight corners. And I will show you, did I say that already? Yeah, I think I did. So I will show you two different techniques because I want you to have like nice, beautiful books with beautiful corners. This is very important when you cover your chipboard in any kind of material. And this technique is good for covering the chipboard with like paper, with any kind of material. Whether you use paper or fabric, with any kind of material, you can get these nice edges. And I would like to show you these two different techniques because I think it's so important how your books, how the corners of your books look. So now, ladies, let's get started. For both samples, I already pre-cut the paper. So I will be using specialty paper to demonstrate how to wrap the paper around the edges. And I also pre-cut the chipboard. Okay, so let's go and start working on our first sample. So what you will do, take a ruler and then just align a ruler along each edge, and then you will make pencil marks on each side, and you will do this on all four sides. And now that you drew all these lines at each corner, of course, then you will choose like two opposite sides. So I will choose these two sides. And what you will do, so you will just fold the chipboard, and then you have like pencil, and then just draw lines here on each side. Okay, like so. Okay, so here you have these two lines. So just draw lines and then go on the opposite side. And again, you fold here on the edge. And here you fold like this. And then you just draw a line. Okay, this is how you have to do it. And then you will take a ruler, of course, and align the ruler with the lines on both sides. And here you draw a line on each side. Don't draw a line between inside of these edges that this pencil lines that you have from before, but just draw to the outside, all right? And then turn to the other side. Here I marked these two sides with X's. And again, do the same thing. All right, and then take scissors and just cut along the lines right here. Just go here to this line because you will have like this, how you call it, a flap. So you will be left with a little flap here on each side. So just go here and cut to this line, and again here, and you will cut this piece. out, and do the same here on this side. Okay, there you go. And now you see here these 4 flaps. So you will just go and you will create these flaps. So just cut along the lines. And now just go and fold each flap that you will adhere over the edges. And why I'm doing this is because it will be much easier later to fold them over the edges, because you want to make, I mean, what I want to do here is I want to make like very, very sharp and clean edges. Okay, and now you will start adhering the paper over the edges with X's. So first, let's go on this side. When you cover the chipboard, always make sure that you put enough glue here on the edge of the chipboard, because you always want to make a very, very good stick here on the edge. And this is how you do it. Then you just go and burnish very, very well to ensure good stick, and fold the paper over the edge. And then just check, because I don't know how precise your measurements were, so then just check that paper or whatever material you use don't overlap the edge. So you don't want a piece of paper or fabric hanging over the edge, because then it will be a little bit harder. I mean, it's not gonna be harder, but you might not get like very clean edge if you have like paper on the side, and then you will feel like a bump here. So you don't want to do that. So just make sure if you have like some extra paper, then just go and cut it off. There you go. Check on this side, it's perfect. Okay, so what you want to do next, you can start working on this little tabs right here on the side at this moment, or you can wrap the paper over the edge on this side first, and then work on all 4 tabs. I will go step by step and fold this, adhere these tabs on the edges at this point. So now cut these tabs at about 1/4 of an inch, like this, and then also do it on this side. And also what I want to point out here is you want to make sure that this edge is very well glued. So just take bone folder and make sure it's really, really, really glued to the chipboard. All right, and now let's go and start working on the steps. And a little bit glue. You have to apply a little bit glue here on this edge of chipboard, and then just glue it down, and make sure that paper on this side doesn't go over the edge. Right, like so, because you can still cut it a little bit here if you left too thick tab, because your tab has to be the same thickness as your chipboard. I mean, like your piece you're working with. So the thickness of my piece is 3 millimeters. So just to let you know, so you have to, it has to be like the thickness of this edge of the chipboard. All right, so this is adhered, and now it still needs some cutting. Okay, and then just check when you fold this flap over, just check if it's nice. Okay, it looks nice. All right, so now let's go on this side and start working on this step. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you have to use bone folder, and just make sure that you really pushed the paper or material that you are working with really over the edge. So you don't want to have like space between chipboard and the paper. It's not gonna be nice. Your corners will not be beautiful. So I must say this. So here you take bone folder and just push it very well to the inside. If you are working with thicker material, like let's say fabric, and if your fabric is like thick, you will have to use a little bit more energy to make the fabric adhere to the chipboard. And then here again, some excess of paper. All right, so here. Oh, and when you cut the excess, just make sure you don't cut it here at the corners, because if you cut it here at the corners, then your corners will show. I mean, the chipboard will show here at the corners. There we go. And then let's go and glue this paper on the edge on the other side. And again, these steps needs to be around 1/4 of an inch. All right, now that these two sides are finished, you will adhere the flaps on the remaining two sides, and you will work one by one. So, okay, first you will start with this one. Always wait for a while for these steps to dry. Then if you start working on these flaps and if the tabs are not dry all the way, then what's gonna happen is the tabs will move and you will have, you know, all kinds of problems. So then you will have to work with flaps and keeping an eye on these tabs, and it's gonna be a mess. They don't have to be dried all the way, but just don't make sure that they are really wet. Okay, burnish well the edge. Okay, so now what you realize here, because these two flaps overlap, you have like bump here on the corner, and that bump can prevent like your piece to adhere nicely to another surface. And what you will do, you will cut out both pieces, like bottom and upper piece of the paper. So what you will do here, you will take a craft knife. Okay, align the ruler with where these two, like with this corner here, where both flaps meet, and then you will align it with this edge of this flap here, but you will not align it all the way to the corner, because then if you do this, then you can damage the corner and it's not gonna look nice anymore. So just a little bit off the corner, like somewhere here, okay? Just like here. I will line it, I'm gonna show you here, I'm gonna line it here with the corner, here where both this piece is meet. Maybe I'm just gonna, with pencil, I'm gonna indicate where I'm gonna cut, maybe like, let's say right here somewhere, okay? And make like 2 cuts. And then remove top part. And then also make another cut here. Just cut along this line that you already cut. Ouch. And then lift the top part of the flap, the top flap, and then you will remove this bottom part that you cut out. Okay, so here is the thing. Here it's not cut all the way, so you will just make a cut somewhere here, like up here, and then you will remove the bottom part, okay? And then take again glue and glue the piece down, and you have nice perfect corner. And these 2 flaps overlap like nice. I mean, they don't overlap, but they just meet like very nicely. You can see it's like nice edge right here. And then also you need to work on the corners and just burnish very well with the bone folder, and then turn the piece over. And you also have to burnish from this side, because this side is also important. So just burnish here on each side, because that way you will make nice corners. Okay, so see how nice this corner looks. It looks perfect. I don't know if you can see it, and look at that. It looks very, very nice. So we are gonna do the same thing here on this side. Okay, so we are finished with sample 1, and I hope you like these corners. I do. I think they're perfect. Look at that. And yeah, it really looks nice. Okay, so now let's go and start working with second piece. And this technique is pretty much the same as the first one. The only difference is how you will cut your material here on each corner. So now let's go. Started with this technique. And also what you will do here, you will do the same thing. Just go around all these edges and draw these lines from each corner to the outside. And also make axes on 2 opposite sides, because we will make the same thing as we did earlier in technique 1. So again, fold here on this edge where you marked with first X, and then just draw, let me see. Okay, so just draw lines. Okay, and then line the ruler with these lines, and then just draw them also to the outside, so that you're gonna have two like opposite lines right here. And then do this on the opposite side, do the same thing. And here you make one pencil line on one side and on one pencil line on the other side of the edge. And also again line this pencil here with this pencil, a ruler with line a ruler with pencil lines, and then draw these lines. And next I will cut out these corners here on each side of the corner. And now I will also cut along this pencil lines here above the bottom line, just to create this tiny tab, and do this on all 4 tabs. So here are all tabs cut, and you will do the same thing with wrapping. And before, in a previous technique, I glued these flaps with straight edges, if you remember. And in this technique I will cut like each flap on diagonal, so I will make a diagonal cut on each side of the flap. Here is the corner, and I will make the cut like from the corner. I will not start cutting exactly here at the corner, but a little bit above the corner. Okay, like this, and just make cut. And also here, just don't go on this side, don't go all the way to the corner, just make like cut above the corner. And do that on both, on all 4 flaps. Oh, and I forgot to make pencil lines here on these 2 sides of the chipboard, and do the same thing like so. And here also on this side, just fold and make these pencil lines. And what you will do, you will cut just above the pencil line, like the same thing. You will start like at the corner, a little bit above the corner. Also here on this side. Okay. And first I will start gluing flaps over the edges where I have these 2 axes. Every time when you fold your material over the edges of the chipboard, just make sure you make like really you burnish really well here on the edge. And there you go, you have nice beautiful edges. And let's do the same thing with the opposite flap. And make sure you apply enough glue here on the edge of the chipboard. And here I would like to explain something. If you do not apply enough glue on the edges of the chipboard, after you fold your material over, you might see like air here under the fabric or paper or whatever you use. If you don't apply enough glue, you will have air under your material. So this is very, very important. All right, so now you need to work on all these tabs here. Just make them like about 1/4 of an inch tall. And just to remind you, after you glue these tabs, just leave them for a while to dry. You will need bone folder for this, and just push it down with bone folder, and make sure here you make really nice folds on the edge. And if this flap, if this tab does not dry like nicely, then you will push it out when you will glue this flap over. So just make sure, see how it pushes out when I fold this over, then this flap pushes the tab out. So here you can see, so I'm just gonna put it back in and leave it for a while to dry. All right, so do the same here with this tab. After you glue these tabs down, just make sure that tabs doesn't go over the edge of the chipboard. If they do, then just cut them a little bit more. And also this one needs some cutting. And also do the same with these two tabs on this side. I will leave these two tabs to dry, and I will start folding this flap over the edges. And here you can see when you fold this flap over, this flap overlaps the bottom flap. And now you will still have some bump here on each side. And to avoid this, you just go and find where is the edge of the bottom flap, and then just line the ruler with a bottom edge of the flap. And just make sure you don't go with the ruler all the way to the corner, and just go a little bit off the corner, and just line the ruler with the edge of the flap. It doesn't have to be precise. Okay, here you go. And now you can see how it looks the edges here, how the edges of both flaps look. Actually, they meet, they don't overlap anymore, and they don't create that bump. And you can see here on this piece, like corners meet perfectly together with both flaps, because I cut both of the flaps together. So I removed top and bottom part at the same time, but here on this piece I removed only sides of the upper flap. And don't worry about it, because anyway this piece will be then adhered to another piece. Okay, and let's do the same thing on this side. So here I will line again with the edge of the bottom flap, and of course I will remove only upper part. Okay, I can still do some more cutting here. There you go. And see, the edges of both flaps meet perfectly together, no bumps. And now that these two tabs are dry, I will see if they still need some cutting to do. Yeah, I will still cut them a little bit more here on this side. I mean, just these outer edges. I'll cut more. And let's go and adhere this flap down. And also don't forget, you need to burnish like the edges from this side very well, because that way you will create like nice clean edges, actually corners. Okay, so you can see on both pieces I created like perfect corners. Okay, ladies, I hope you enjoyed watching these two techniques on how to cover your chipboard and how to make your corners really beautiful on your chipboard pieces. I hope your books and your chipboard pieces will look so much better with nice and beautiful corners. So now go and try these two techniques yourself, and see you soon.